opal thing. I think you see the funny thing here. I don't think it matters very much. Let's see if it works from here. So the general idea is, hopefully, this position is a lot simpler for you. In all situations, the viewer comfort is a major concern. Rather than saying, we don't like you, we say, your call is important to us. I don't know where I'm going with that. Nowhere good. It's Dr. Phil here, by the way, guys, in case you haven't joined in yet. So how are you going to figure that one out later on? Well beyond me, but that's not my problem. At the moment, my metrics say 0 and 0 and 0, 0, 0, so that doesn't matter anyway. But the polite message came on, which means, as a general rule, someone's just come on. Eventually I'm going to bring this up. I think today. There. What's that done? This bit's cracked, so I don't anticipate it staying. Seems that this vantage point is not getting as much friction as per normal. Is good. Well, that's telly. The crack right in the middle. We'll keep going. We'll pretend that nothing's going wrong with this. Perfectly ordinary opal. What's your problem? That black line, that black fractal line, that's a speed line. That's right. It makes the opal go faster if it happens to be in a sports car. Alright, let's deal with this now. Oh, I see. So what I just do here probably will encourage it to detach. So obviously it's not going to stay attached, but we're going to just let it happen naturally. If we didn't let the circle of life happen, we faster would not be happy with this. Snapped it. Nice little piece. Let's see what it has to offer us in terms of worldly gain. A little bit. See that? Nice little bit of shine there. Let me just clean up your axe. Mop. 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 Nice little local there. Oh, 80 people saw that little maneuver. Yay! The Battle of tonight. I would say that the chat features, if you're talking to me, I'm sorry I can't see it. Not my fault. But for the record, I'm seeing 104 people there. By the way, can you see that? Yeah, probably. No, you can't. Go to see it. Hang on. Here we go. Look. Thank you for the 3 likes, whoever did that. Oh, hang on. It's an opal, my friend. I think, see your name is okay. Fair enough. It's an opal. It's from Kubapedi. See if we can spot some nice colour. Must be wet for this. Hang on. Hello there, man. Oh, how you doing? Yes, if I remember correctly. Let me see. Seth, isn't it? Welcome back to the channel, my friend. Now this is turning out quite well. Unexpectedly well. Opal, yes. It is indeed. This one's a Cooper Beatty stone. I'm trying to get the colours out now. Trouble is, very occasionally, as in most of the time, this camera doesn't seem to pick up the colours on my opals very well. So I'm trying to make it so that you can even see the colours. Do the retouch, see what happens. That seems to be working. Okay, let me just quickly wipe down this here area and see if we can find it. Thank you whoever's liking the stream epically. Nope. Thought I saw it. There we go. Just a little bit. You can see a little bit of the shine. It's a bit better. Oh, it's a lot better than that actually. But at least you saw some of it. If you're having trouble with the shape of the opal, 9 times out of 10 it's because of the thickness of it. Sounds weird, but it's the truth. At the moment, I'm having trouble with the thickness of this, with the shape of this one, and it's all to do with its thickness. Oh, hello. Oh, my best. Yeah. Thank you. So there you go. Made into a drop shape. And I just saw 210 people watching that one. That's pretty impressive. Thank you, guys. Oh, and 10 likes. That's pretty good too. Alright, let's have a look at what we got here. I will try this guy out. Just for funsies. We'll see what it's like. Could be a meant to be. Couldn't rightly say. No, it's a lightning ridge. Lightning ridge. Most likely an iron band. So, right, this guy is at the very top of the deposited opal. When you buy pots, you'll very often get this stuff because it looks good, but it's so hard on your equipment. Fortunately, my blades don't. Oh my goodness. My blades don't cost much to replace, but they do take time, so that's the issue. It's the time cost rather than anything else. So what I'll do is I'll get a fresh, clean, dry thing because I think that'll help. have words with Justin about his technique. In all seriousness, you can see a flaw in the opal just there. So we'll see if we can leverage that a bit. I can see some nice little veins coming up. Show them to you in a second. Hopefully I can get some kind of cherry blossom style pattern going. Celine Dion, Lucas, come back, has it? Allow me to fix that for you. 253. That's a lot of people. There you go. Perfect. Oh, 142. Going down. Very often they quote my stats back at me and say, oh, your peak amount of people was 3. No, it was not. Learn to do math, you people. This opal started off quite an irregular shape, so it's a bit of an effort to get it into something resembling orthodoxia. But we do have a slight cherry blossom pattern. It's not a huge one, but it's enough. Enough to keep me happy. I just see 426. That's a large number. 15 likes. Hello. About time to do my demonstration. Are we ready? Da, 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 da. So it's perfectly safe-ish. Is that one? Let's see how this one goes. 489 people. Okay, that's a few. $643. Now that's an interesting number. There we go. Let's see if we can get this opal looking pretty for you guys then. Seeing you put some faith in me. Likes, that's pretty good. I'm taking a bit of risk with this one. If I do it wrong, well, we ain't going to get any colour on the opal. Let's see. Well, I might be doing it wrong. I'll keep going. Why not? Just so you know, I'd already resigned myself to the fact that this opal was going to be a toughie. And that the red pattern that was on the top of it, I can't rely on it, so I already knew that, so I'm not particularly worried about it. I will be circumspect about it if it does end up not working out, but I'll give it my best. About 10 seconds from getting this opal to flick and moving on to something else. The only thing that'll save it is if there's something underneath this particular surface here. Have a look. Yeah, we'll move on. I'll try and do another one. I'll get this wiped down too. We don't want 600 people seeing a dirty screen now, do we? "17 likes. Thank you, guys. That was very kind of you." There we go. Now, what else have we got left? This guy. Now this is a Cooper opal, so I'm trying my best. Not really doing my best at the moment. I'm a bit tired, so give me a break. But basically, you try and get all the angles off it. These Cooper stones happen to be brittle, and this one is really brittle because it's clearly been out in the sun, so it's certainly not one you want to just mess around with willy-nilly, as they say. Alright, 18 months. What? Oh, this is Cooper Petey. Sorry, g'day James, how you doing? Something like that, yeah. It's made to cut hard things, and my skin is especially soft and supple. There you go. How's that? That's better. Let's have a look at this piece here. Sorry to have a brief break in the proceedings. I'm just trying to make sure I've got something nice here. It's not looking good, this one. I'll just take some of the skin off here and see. The opal, not me. Take some of this skin off and see what it looks like. But if it's not going to yield, I'll just... Well, I won't turf it. I'll have a look at it in the sunlight and see if there's something I can do with it. But, yeah, from my recollections, it actually was a lot better than this. Well, it is now. There was colour in it, and I thought there was pretty decent colour in it, but I can't see it anymore, so I'm going to just think of it as potch now. But it was a coloured stone, yeah. Let me have a look. Okay, there is the tiniest bit of colour there. What I'll do is I'll do that one in my own time. It might actually come good, but it'll take too long to do it here. I'll just quickly take the top off this guy to have a quick look at it. This one's a case of if there's nothing there, we'll just move on. If there's something there, we won't move on. Sounds like a plan. Let me have a look. There's a bit of colour there, but I'm just trying to work out if it's worth it. It's one of these opals that just has this hint of colour on it, and so you don't want to give it up just in case, but ultimately it probably is going to amount to nothing, so just be aware of that. I'm not trying to give anyone any false sense of expectation here, and at the moment I'm going nowhere near the colour. I'm just flattening out the back. $19 likes, thank you guys. The way I describe this opal is not huge, but not nothing either. So there is a little bit of spark, a little bit of fire to work on. Let's just bring it up to the light so you can, let me wipe the screen. Oh, I see. What's happening is that you are not where I put you originally. I'll put you back here. Oh. I'll put you back here. It'll be easier for you. There we go. Now, let's talk about this guy. You can see just a little bit of colour just dangling off a few bits of it. Let's see what we can do about making that colour a bit more pronounced. Okay. Okay, so it's one of these ones which has veins of colour going through it. Not quite my lovely cherry blossom pattern, but not that different from it either. Okay. Oh, 20 likes. Thank you. You can see that little bit of colour sitting there. What you'll find is that when we go into the sunlight, oh man. Okay, I'm going to call that, have a look at it. That is, I'm going to call that cherry blossom because it is actually, does look like it's got a tree on it. You can see that? I'm going to try and get some of those attributes out a little bit clearer. This is very different to the standard cherry blossom, but I don't mind. It looks quite nice. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this pattern doesn't show up every day. So what you're seeing here is basically you might be seeing it and you might not be. You're seeing an opal there, which has got, basically it looks like it's got a picture of a tree there. I've got another one which I've polished up to show you. This guy here. See, similar kind of idea. Probably that's the best way. Gives you a nice little winter scene. This one's possibly a summer scene. But yeah, cherry blossoms go together. So, pretty happy to get one of those, to be honest. Alright, now this one's tiny. Let's see if we can get it to work. A lot of people aren't impressed by the little ones. I am, because it's harder to do. I barely watch my own stuff anyway though. Only for editing or review purposes. It's not that I don't like the sound of my own voice, it's just I've got better things to do. There you go, nice little tiny opal there. 22 likes already. Hello there LB, or IB. Probably 5120, okay, I'm going to start with the magnum opal. So I'll see, I've got one here that looks, we'll quickly have a look at this guy. We'll start to explore it, see what's going on with it. This one's from Lightning Ridge. let's have a look and see what we've got. Maybe. Alright, the silt's behind here. Ooh, broke a bit off. No. Oh, hello there, sorry. Gazuras and Insane. Sorry about that. I was just in my own little world. Let me just clean up this this here thing here. Yes. Clean. Clean. Move it back to where it's supposed to be. Right. There we go. What do you reckon? Let's have a look here. Just swapping down this because it's not obeying me. There we go. Yeah, we've got a little bit of colour right here. That's why you take the sand off, because you never know. I tend to buy sand blown pieces so that I get to play lotto with them. They're very cheap, no one wants them. But sand is a vital part of opal formation, so there's a good chance to find something under them. That sound you're hearing is the blade absolutely giving up in protest. Did you see that? Nice, very nice. Yeah, you can see we're starting to see some nice colours just underneath here. Let's try and get some more out. We're racing the blade now, because the blade is definitely on the way out. And we're nearly done for time, so if the blade gives up, I'll just finish it for the night. Now some nice colour there. Bingo, look at that. Nice piece of colour just underneath there. That's what we like to see. I think this piece is going to have to be cut into several sections because there's no practical way I can keep this whole as rollers. Oh, 35 likes, thank you very much. Quite impressive. we're going. We've nearly gotten all this off. Let's just have a look from this side, see what it looks like. Might have a bit of polyopal, you see. I wonder. Yep. Break that piece off. Good, it's going to come off clean. Now you're going to say, that's a small bit. Yep, might be. There's a carrot, $500-600. If it's got a good opal on it, of course, not just random. There we go, not great, but not terrible either. That's good. Let's see if we can get one more done before I shut this thing down. Just seeing if we snap something else off. No. Okay. go to. Just trying to make it go on my terms because there's a nice piece of colour just beyond it. Oh, 41 likes, thank you. Oh, hello, sorry. People said hi. Hello, Valencia. Oh, okay. Oh, that was tough. So the sand is off. I'll move this out so that you can see. Ugh. Sand is off. Mostly anyway. So the next thing to do is just to look for any colour. There is actually colour on it. Let me see if I can find some. Yeah, there's just a little bit on these sides here. That'll be interesting. to see if we can actually get something out of it. But if not, we've got various other opals that we can deal with. Okay, now one thing I've got to do is I've got to turn the water off, or else I'll have a problem tomorrow. There we go, water is off. Right. Okay, so what we do, we don't quite finish up yet. Oh, hello there, Sebastian. And Valentin. Okay, fair enough. So what we're doing here now is grabbing my drinky poo, yay, and then we're going inside to say goodnight to the birdies. Bit of a routine. Yeah, Pony, what have you done? Pony's done some spring cleaning, and I'm not going to show you the floor because it's a little bit unremarkable. We'll call it that. All right, Maxie Bubba. How are we, my friend? Let's see. Is Max amenable today? Max, would you like a scratchy poo? Come here. Come here. There we go. Scratch. There we are. Got a little scratch. There we go. There we are. How's that, huh? How's that? You like that? Bet you do. Yeah? You love it. So that's Max the cockatoo. If you have a look on my channel, you'll realise he's been rescued, and there's a bit of a story about how he got rescued. Something to look up in your own time if you want to. Basically, whoa, jump scare. That was my fault. Sorry, mate. I accidentally nicked one of his feathers that wasn't ready to go. Easy to do. Yeah, so these birds, they're not show birds, so to speak, you know. I'm not accusing anyone in YouTube of doing that, but these birds are here just as co-residents in my place. This is Loki. She's also a rescue. I got her a lot younger, so she's a lot more compliant. But also, she's got very bad feathers, and so even the slightest amount of plucking and she's in trouble. When we first got her, they thought she had beak and feather disease, but she doesn't. Right, there we go. It's been a hectic weekend. Father's Day and all. Happy Father's Day, those people who are fathering. One final thing. Here we go. Hello. Come here, little bub. That's right. Here we go. And splat. There we go. Hello, Pony. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Oh, Pony. Did you hear that? It was Pony's voice doing the voicey thing. Amazing. Now, you know, I swear on the grave of Tutankhamun that this was not my voice. It was the bird's voice. So it must be fate. It must be fate that you must like and subscribe. I wouldn't lie, would I? Not at all. That's all right. One last thing. Pony, you are free to go. In you get. Whoop. There you go. Wait. That cage needs a bit of a clean. All right, well, that's the proceedings for tonight. Thank you very much for being with me this entire time. I noted that 600 people tuned in at one point. That's pretty impressive, quite frankly. Yeah, I'm going to get to you, Max. It's all good. Oh, tired. That seems to be my cue, don't you think? I wish you all will have a wonderful, wonderful evening or morning, whatever it is. Dr. Phil out.